Welcome to Bounce Around Charleston. I'm Randolph Miller. Coming up in today's show, we will speak with Gullah Storyteller, Elder Carolyn Jabulile White. Bounce reporter Michelle Lemon will give you 60 seconds of Black history. And coming up later in the show, we will have a performance from gospel music group Mike Brown and Focus. And also, stick around for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Tyler Perry's stage play, Hell Hath No Fury, Like a Woman Scorned, being held at the North Charleston Performing Arts Center on February the 11th. Sitting here with me, Elder Carolyn Jabulile White, a Charleston native who grew up on James Island, and a wonderful Gullah storyteller. Now, you learned all this from your parents and your grandparents. Am I correct?
I did. And especially listening to Granny them down on Henson Plantation, you know, just picked up it naturally. And I still use it, and I still do it, and I still love it.
So all the stories that you teach and you tell us were stories that they told you.
Yeah, the stories that they tell me. It's once in a while I'll hear a story and I like it, and I'll, you know, kind of put it in the Gullah flavor. Yeah, but most of them I heard from my dad and grandparents. Yeah.
What was one of your favorite stories?
Well, one of the favorite ones my dad would tell me about when people would come to Charleston to visit, and mostly, you know, white people. In those days, you call them Buckra. Come to Charleston.
Buckra?
Yeah, Buckra. And Gullah, that's what it means. The man who owned the plantation.
Oh.
Yeah, and they would come to Charleston and want to know, ask questions, you see. And Madam always taught us when you be downtown, have good manners. Yeah. Well, he came up to the old black man and he just walked up to him and said, "Look here." He said, "Can you tell me where's the battery?" Black man looked at him and said, "Battery?" Say, "I yesterday them children got him in them car." He said, "But I ain't got none.
Oh, Lord.
I ain't know where that there." So he looked at him again and said, "Look at here." He said, "Can you tell me where's the custom house?" The old man said, "Custom house?" Said, "I ain't got nothing but a board house on James Island now. And I ain't know nothing about that neither." Well, he thought he would intimidate him, you know. So the old white man looked at him and said, "Look at here." Say, "You ever heard about the jailhouse?" Black man said, "Wait a minute now." Say, "I ain't been there. I ain't tried to go there. So I ain't having no weed there. I don't know." Well, by this time, Reverend, he was out and done with the old black man. So he asked him one more time and looked at him and said, "Look at here." Say, "You don't know nothing, eh?" Well, at that time, you had to be cautious. Old black man look around there and look around there, so look back at him, say, "I know one thing, I ain't lost." Yeah, that what Daddy said.
Okay, well, tell me. Okay, it's the Gullah language.
Yes.
And what is that all about?
Well, that's all about learning from our ancestors, broken English and tribal language. Many were from different tribes. So in order to correspond with one another, they would speak, you know, their native tongue and broken English that they heard on the plantation. Now, when they said things like Buckra out on the plantation, Martha wouldn't know who they were talking about.
Okay.
You understand? Because they use that language in the field and also sign language and singing. Like these people, young people sing now. Maybe they don't know about that kind, you know. Singing that the other one would know what was being said. Say, for instance, they might sing, "Swing Down, Sweet Chariot."
Okay, I've heard that.
That means that she's coming through. Harriet is coming through. And if you are ready to go, now get your little things, pack up, and be ready to leave.
Now, I was told that when they sang the song "Steal Away,"
that's right.
That means get ready, we're going to have a meeting tonight.
That's right.
Okay.
We're going to have a meeting tonight. And Harriet coming mean we're going to try to get out of here.
Well, now, you've traveled the country. You've traveled extensively.
Have, yeah.
Tell us some of the places where you've been.
Well, the first travel experience was as a peacemaker during the time President Mandela was incarcerated. So I went to South Africa, down in Johannesburg and Durban, all around there, and that's where I got the name Jabulile, in Durban. The elder looked at me and said, "You, Jabulile." Well, I thought it meant Carolyn. He said, "No, Jabulile, jubilant. I see happiness in you.
Jubilant,
I see telling in you." And so I carried it ever since then.
Now, I remember some time ago,
too.
you also received an award at the State House.
Sure did.
And what was that about?
Wasn't that a joyous time, Pastor? Receiving a heritage folk lawn from the state of South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah. So ain't just the grassroots no more, the whole state recognized me as a storyteller. And that was really, really, really good, yeah.
Then you also did a play down in the market. You remember that?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Since my soul got a seat in the marketplace up there in heaven, yeah, it's all right for working on the market, but when I get done, I want to be up there. I want my seat up there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you've been just telling stories and telling stories and telling stories.
And love it.
So let me tell you what, this is Black History Month. So on Bounce Around Charleston, we are labeling you as a living legend.
Thank you.
And one of our first living legends on Bounce Around Charleston, Carolyn Jabulile White. And at this time, I'm going to turn you loose, and I want you to look in that camera one and tell us one of those Gullah stories.
Okay, I will. And it's so nice to be invited, you know, here today. But another Gullah story I like to tell, said that gal's going to get married, but there's going to be a little trouble along the way. See, black on the plantation, now, you couldn't, the boys just couldn't go up to the gals and tell them, say, love them, you know. No, you had to go to Pa, and Pa had to give permission for that boy to come in their house to that gal. But now the boy would get to see the gal when they go to church. Like these children go to church now and sing and whatever. Well, if you see the gal in church, you hunch her while Reb to preach. You say, gal, you know, I sure love you and I want to come to see you. But in order to go to see us, you had to go through Pa. So he said, now while you and your Pa out in that cotton field, say, I want you to sweeten them up, yeah? She said, and let them know I won't come to see you. So sure enough, she went out with Pa the next day in the field and walked right upside him, you know. She said, Pa, it's a young man down to the church. He want to take my hand in marriage. Pa didn't say nothing right off. But then Pa said later on, said, gal, he said, who that fella is and what his name is? She said, well, Pa said, you know Hezekiah? Pa said, what? Said, no, gal. Said, Hezekiah can't come for see nor you, for marry you. She said, how come? He said, because that's the half brother. He said, but don't tell man. Well, if he tell you don't tell man nothing, you ain't gonna say nothing. But as time go by, we say heal all wong. And the word wong and Gullah mean you get all right. Well, by and by, another fella came down to that same church. I mean, fell madly in love with that fella. And so he want to marry him too. So, but the custom was you had to go through Pa. So, well, now it was sweet potato planting time. I don't know how the young children like sweet potato, but Hannah don't know how you get them. You had to plant them vine, slip them vine and get them potato. And then sometime, Pa tell you, say, put some in the bank. And there ain't been no walk over your bank neither. It was what you call a tater bank. Till when you get cold in the winter, you get that tater. Well, that time gone by and the girl got up the nerve again. They say, Pa, say, fella want to take me hand in marriage. Say, please let him come for ask for me, yeah? Pa didn't say nothing right off. But later on down the field, Pa asked him, say, gal, he said, listen here, say, who that boy mama is? Who his mama is? Say, oh, you know Miss Mary Jane, Pa? Great God, Pa must have had a stroke in the field, Reb. Say, what? Say, no, gal, he said, that boy can't come to marry you. He said, how come? He said, that day you have Baba too. But don't tell man. Well, she went home and she cried. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Master, a gal said, what wrong with you? You eat too much raw tater? No, ma'am. Say, every boy will come for one marry me. Pa say he can't marry me because that's my half Baba. Master gal, he said, you love him? She said, yes, ma'am. He said, get your wedding dress ready. He said, because we're going to have a big wedding on this here plantation. Well, sure enough, he said, and call all your family now. We got some on Johns Island, Watermelon Island, down in Eddystone Island, and tell them, come on down, because they're going to have a big town. Well, Ma, did you, your wife, tell you what Pa tell me? Ma said, gal, you listen to what I say. If you love him, you marry him. Say, because one thing Pa don't know, you ain't a him child know how.
Whoa.
So the moral of that story is, if you want to know something, don't ask your Pa, ask your ma. But now the true meaning of the story is, sometime most of them done sold Pa off to another plantation, another family, gone. And that has happened through the years coming up. So remember now, Many of us are half sisters and brothers.
My.
Thank you, thank you.
Carolyn Jabulile White.
Yeah.
Our living legend.
Yeah.
Gullah Storyteller.
Oh,
Thank you for being
that's
here
a
on
pleasure.
Bounce Around Charleston.
Now, you done got me all warm up here now. Yeah, all right. Thank you so
Carolyn
much.
Jabulile White. To book a performance, call 795-1672 or visit www.gullahstoryteller.com. We'll be back right after this because coming up, reporter Michelle Lemon giving us 60 seconds of Black history.